Hey there, Ben Mankiewicz with you on TCM. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight, you are in for the long haul with movies featuring sweet rides. Our next one comes courtesy of two titans of supernatural horror, writer Stephen King, director John Carpenter. From Columbia Pictures in 1983, Christine. Picture starts in the 1950s. A brand new 1958 cherry red Plymouth Fury with a white top rolls off an assembly line at an auto factory. And this car is a killer. Starts racking up a body count before it even gets to the showroom. Fast forward 21 years later, and Christine is a forgotten gas guzzler from a bygone era, rusting away. The car catches the eye of a high school nerd named Arnie, played by Keith Gordon. You can tell he's a nerd because he's wearing the universal symbol of nerdiness in the 1970s and 80s, horned-rimmed glasses. Today, glasses are considered the definition of sharp wit and smoldering sexiness. Anyway, Arnie's instant bond with the car begins to transform him. Hollywood fully embraced Stephen King's inventive novels as they became bestsellers one after another in the 1970s. Carrie and The Shining were each given solid adaptations by elite directors Brian De Palma and Stanley Kubrick. In 1983, the floodgates broke open. Cujo and The Dead Zone both hit theaters months before Christine. Many of Stephen King's massive novels are too expansive for straight adaptations, meaning they get extensively reworked for the screen. John Carpenter, though, stays mostly true to King's pulpy spirit, and King became a fan of the movie, which was not the case with The Shining, directed by Kubrick. Carpenter did take one significant detour to streamline the story. In the novel, the car itself is not evil. It's possessed by the spirit of a serial killer. Not the case in the movie. Carpenter did keep King's specific detail of Christine being a 1958 Plymouth Fury, which caused several production headaches. At the time, the Fury was not considered anything special by classic car aficionados, so finding working 58 Plymouth Furies was a challenge. Moreover, it was also only produced in light beige, a color as uncool as it was unthreatening. In total, 24 Plymouths were used in the production, only 2 of which were in running condition. From 1983, also with John Stockwell, Alexandra Paul, and Harry Dean Stanton, this is Christine. Hard as it might be to believe today, John Carpenter desperately needed work when he signed on to direct Christine. The filmmaker was coming off his 1982 remake of The Thing, a box office flop that today is considered one of the best horror films of the 1980s. Carpenter hoped to cast Brooke Shields and Happy Days star Scott Baio in Christine, but he lacked the budget. Viewing the film as more of a gig than a passion project, Carpenter later seemed perplexed when Christine achieved cult hit status. Menacing vehicles had been hitting the road long before Christine put the pedal to the metal. Steven Spielberg's intense 1971 made-for-TV movie Duel, about a terrorizing 18-wheeler, ignited the subgenre. Other road ragers include another TV movie, Killdozer, released in 1974, and the 1977 horror film The Car, featuring a black sedan inflicting its brand of road rage on a small town. Shelley Hack also led the cast of a TV movie I watched with intense interest in 1979 called Death Car on the Freeway. Hal Needham, who directed our previous film tonight, Smokey and the Bandit, directed Death Car. Truth is, it wasn't a death car, it was a van, but Death Van on the Freeway isn't much of a title. Stephen King took another spin with violent vehicles and Maximum Overdrive, an over-the-top 1986 horror film about rampaging semis and other machines. It remains the only movie Stephen King has ever directed. For all you John Carpenter fans out there, and I know there are a lot of you, be sure to join us next month on July 16th and July 23rd for the Carpenter Zone, where John Carpenter joins TCM host Alicia Malone to introduce a lineup of his favorite classic horror films. Coming up, 3 stories of the 3 owners of a luxury car. The yellow Rolls Royce is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, the yellow Rolls Royce, then Corvette Summer, and later M. It's a red letter day for Peter Lorre on TCM.